have taken out my Invisalign. Today's video will be about Twice and JYP. And this video is coming straight from the heart. Okay, there's zero notes to this video. There's zero bullet points. It's just a talking point that I felt the need to express. But before I get into it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for all of the love on my last video on adults and overcompensating. I had so much fun editing the video, and I'm glad people like it. And thank you so much for those that subscribe to my channel from that video and from my previous videos. It means the world to me. Twice just released their third full-length album. This is on the 11th of July 2025, which is a Friday. Depends on which day this video comes out. It was yesterday being the 11th of July, and I listened to the title track This Is For, and I absolutely love it. It is so good and it's so catchy and it gets stuck in your head. But my only problem is, why is it so short? 2 minutes. Why have we fallen propaganda to the short song epidemic? This isn't you, Twice. You shouldn't be doing this. I'm joking. But it's a really, really good album, really good title track. And in recent years, some of Twice's title tracks have been hit and misses for me. Ever since Talk That Talk, I love Talk That Talk as a comeback, because depending on how you perceive it, it's a disbandment song, but at the same time, it's a renewal song. So it's on your perception of the comeback. But Talk That Talk was so good. I also somewhat enjoyed Set Me Free, but something about the rap in Set Me Free just makes me cringe every single time. And even till this day, whenever I listen to it, and it's been a good 3 years, whenever I listen to it, I just tune out during the rap because I can't stand it, or I skip through the rap. And then in 2024 we had One Spark. I did not like One Spark. One Spark took me 8 months to actually grow on me. I did not like One Spark. I found the song to be meh, especially compared to I Got You and the other songs on the EP, on the For Youth EP. It's a beautiful EP, but my least favorite song is One Spark, which was the title track. And then later in 2024 we got Strategy, which I absolutely love. I love Strategy so much, and now we have This Is For. But a pattern I've started to realize with Twice is, until This Is For, I haven't really been enjoying their B-sides as much as I previously did. And this a statement I always say, and I will stand by, although in recent years it's somewhat faltering, is Twice has one of the best discographies in K-pop. Their B-sides are absolutely amazing. When people say Twice aren't diverse, there's no diversity in the discography, there's no diversity in the musicality, I say no. That lets me know that you've only listened to 1 or 2 title tracks. That lets me know you haven't listened to Twice to Grammy. It lets me know that you haven't listened to Formula of Love. In recent years, I found that the title tracks haven't really been memorable to me. For instance, Talk That Talk between 1 and 2, I like it. It's such a good EP. And then in 2023 we Set Me Free. I won't lie to you, I have listened to that album probably less than 5 times. I can't remember anything really sticking in Ready to Be. I can't remember any song particularly sticking. I remember liking some of the songs, but I don't like the album enough to listen to it a lot. Moonlight Sunrise is such a good song. Blame It On Me is so good. Wallflower is so good. Crazy to Be Love is so good. But they're good songs, but I don't think about them, And that was also the case with no, tell a lie. That wasn't the case with Youth. Youth was a really good album that I listened to a lot in 2024. It's so good. Strategy is where I realized that this was a pattern I had, because the title track Strategy I listened to a lot. I have listened to it a lot since it came out. I only like Strategy. The other songs on the album I did not like nothing stuck with me. I remember listening to the album and I thought, okay, it's an album. Like, I'd never felt like that listening to a Twice album before. I was so whelmed. Like, I wasn't overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I was just whelmed. And now we're in July 2025 and it's Friday 11th 2025, and now I'm listening to This Is 4. This is recorded on Saturday, but this is a talking point I have felt the need to express since I started listening to the album. So I started listening to the album on the day of its release, in the park. Oh my god, how very picturesque. And I was listening to it and I realized I haven't been this excited for a Twice comeback in a while. And I remember listening to some of the songs on the album and I felt it. Like, it's so good. Like, it's such a good album. So far, I have gotten up to Right Hand Girl. Yeah, I was just about to go to Peach Gelato, but then I had the need to actually talk about this, and now I'm here. But it's such a good album. So far, I started listening to it yesterday, but I didn't finish. Then I started listening to the album again from the beginning, and I said, this is a good body of work. This is a really cohesive body of work. This is really good, and I like all of the songs, but I have an issue with the album. Why is it that out of 14 songs, 3/4 of them are in English? Answer me that. Why out of 14 songs, more than half of them are in English? Mind you, this is a K-pop group. This is a Korean pop group. Why are there barely any Korean lyrics? And now we have 3 Korean songs, but they barely have Korean in them. Yes, Mars has Korean lyrics, but the other songs, barely any Korean. And it makes me wonder, who the hell at JYP Entertainment label makes these decisions? Because you guys in the comment section are going to go against my points. You're not going to see sense in what I'm saying, because that's how most K-pop fans are. You guys, it's unfortunately sheep mentality, and you don't like seeing another. Like, something about an othering opinion gets you guys so riled up. But I've been a once for like a good portion of my teen years, okay? I've been a once for a while, okay? And it makes me think that JYP are setting them up for failure. Hear me out when I say this. And it will fail. With how the direction they're going in, this isn't feasible. This isn't viable in the long run. Case in point, Wonder Girls, a K-pop group under JYP Entertainment, from the second generation, they broke into the American market with nobody, and that's how they gained recognition in the West. And knowing that they had gained some semblance of recognition in the West, it is smart to want to break into the Western market, because it is objectively the biggest. So it makes sense why JYP would start promoting them in the West, which is what they did. But this is what they didn't do. They didn't placate the domestic audience. So for a couple of years, Wonder Girls were only in America. A lot of the promotional activities was in America. They weren't doing anything for the domestic audience. They weren't doing anything for the domestic audience. And that is what JYP is doing with Twice. Because Strategy also had a good number of English songs. But for the nation's girl group, why do you barely have any Korean songs on your album? And this is why I say they will fail at some point. They will fail at some point. Yes, Twice is undoubtedly one of the most successful girl groups in history, especially in K-pop. I know that. But with what they're doing in recent years, you can only rely on the goodwill of the name Twice for so long. Because how is it that on a full-length album with 14 songs, you only have 3 Korean songs? What? Do you know how absurd that is? And it's not like this is an English album, which would make sense. It's not like this is a solo project. Even with a solo project, it doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, 5 out of 9 members of the group are Korean, born and bred Korean. So why are your songs in English? International fans, you guys are gonna go, oh my god, you just don't tell me, there's no need to say that. There is a need, because if they fall in the West, because they're breaking, compared to Wonder Girls, Twice has broken more into the Western market than Wonder Girls has, or Wonder Girls did because they're disbanded. Twice has, but there will never be a Blackpink, let's be for real. There will never be a BTS. They will never reach those heights. So, and I say this with love. Blackpink are like, Twice are my favorite group of all time. Like, I love Twice. They're my ultimate group, not just K-pop. I love Twice so much. But just because I love them, I can also be objective in my perception of things that are happening. And they will never reach the levels of Blackpink and BTS, because those were once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Just like how Wonder Girls back in 2008, 2009, that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But then the company failed them. Because how is it that you have such a stable, big fan base in South Korea? It would be different if Wonder Girls were a NMIX, where they have, a lot of fans internationally that they do back home. Or it would be different if they're like a Stray Kids before, because Stray Kids had more international fans before, but now the Korean fan base is growing. But it would be different if that was the case. But that's not the case. Twice has a large domestic fan base. And you have a large domestic fan base, but then you decide for your full-length album, rather than making half of the songs in English and half of the songs in Korean, you decide to make most of the songs in English and only 3 songs in Korean. And this is why I remember when I got to Right Hand Gun, I was about to get into Picture Gelato, I thought to myself, why have I heard so much English? Why have I heard so much English from a group that there's barely a fluent English speaker? It would make sense for a Blackpink, because 3/4 of the members in Blackpink speak English fluently. Lisa so. But they have conversational English skills. No one in Twice has that. Don't say me now, because she barely speaks English. So why do that? And knowing that a lot of people, a good majority of K-pop fans that are K-pop fans because they like what the language sounds like, and learning a different culture and different language, and that. So why then do that? But most importantly, why alienate your domestic audience? Because, like I said, if it doesn't work out in the West, they need to fall back on something. They're not gonna have that they're not gonna have that much longer. Case in point, Wonder Girls. Although they did try to break into the Western music market, but given the climate and the time, society was a lot more xenophobic than it is now, or was more xenophobic presenting than it is now. So that was a tough. Oh my god, there's a cat outside! Meow, 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 meow. Oh my god, he's buzzing me. Meow. Oh my god. Meow, meow. Oh my god, this cat always comes to the backyard and takes a dookie in our backyard, and then it's about to do it. 1 second, I'm watching. Yeah. It always comes back and then takes a duke, back and then leaves. I mean, I'm glad it finds my backend very favorable to, relieve his body functions. And now it's covering up. Cute. Anyway, back to my point. So although JYP and Wonder Girls did try to break into, they weren't successful with it. Because of how many years they spent abroad, alienating the domestic audience, when they went back to South Korea, they barely had. Like, they still had fans because it's Wonder Girls, but not as much as they used to. Wonder Girls were one of the big girl groups back then. It was them, Girl Generation, Kara, 21. But they didn't have as much. They didn't have that fan base like they did, and that's gonna be the same for Twice. Given yes, they've had 10 years, that's a big slay. But don't forget who beats that foundation. What the hell is that? What the hell was that? I think it's a bird. Don't forget who beats that foundation. Your domestic audience. And you're alienating them when you have most of your songs in English and only 3 songs in Korean. How do you think they're going to understand what you're saying? And that's why I want to know what was going through the heads. Yes, I know the girls now have a choice in picking, but you could have given them songs and then presented to them the lyrics in Korean. Because how is it that how many we have 5 subunits songs on this album, all of them are in English. Why? And you know damn well, majority of the Korean listeners don't speak English. So how do you think they're going to actually understand the song? How do you think they are going to feel? And then you're having a concert, literally, they're having a concert like this month in July. And you expect your fans to sing along to the lyrics of Batitude? Come on! Like, let's meet into the boardroom, because you guys are clearly not thinking. You're not thinking about, you don't provide and proffer ideas that are viable in the long term, long run ideas that makes, like, yes, Twice they've reached their peak. 10 years, of course you reach your peak. It's every life cycle of a business, of a product, for it to slowly start to fall. But you're gonna fall even faster and plummet faster if you're alienating your domestic group. And if you don't agree with me, I am so sorry with you. I am so sorry for you that you can't see my point. International fans could go, oh yeah, well now Korean fans know how we feel, but they don't owe you, a K-pop group doesn't owe you the obligation of singing in Korean, in English. Because they're a Korean pop group. So how are you a Korean pop group but you only have 3 Korean songs on your full-length album? That's actually very embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I kept thinking about it. It's like, no, I need to speak about it. Because I am so happy for them, but what the hell are you doing? And then their solo songs that were released in June, only 1 song I believe had Korean lyrics in it. The other songs were in English. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just bad decisions upon bad decisions. It does not make any sense to me. Anyways, that's it. Bye.